to the Central Division. Whoop. The Chicago Bulls. The Bulls. The Madhouse on Madison.
I don't hate it. Stadium era vertical design. Okay. Or vertical sign, maybe. I mean, admittedly, I'm not like brushed up on Chicago history here, but I can appreciate that if that's what you're telling me. I don't dislike these. I don't.
That's kind of how I feel, but I don't dislike it. I'm already tired. We're only on the third division. I'm already tired of black being the go-to.
Absolutely, dude.
I
feels like it's 20 years ago. Hey, black alternates for everybody.
Let's see this in a white. Let's see this in a red.
Yeah,
give me a black number instead. You know, I'd at least like to see that.
Absolutely.
Again, you have the Bulls who have maybe some of the best uniforms in the league.
Yes,
the regular stuff, because it's so simple,
right?
Just Bulls in red.
Yeah, dude. I mean, even the old Chicago in cursive, the early Michael Jordan stuff was great. Like, those teams made these iconic. So, I mean, I don't know. It's like you said, the overuse of black is kind of obnoxious here.
And then, was it 2 years ago, their city editions where they had the theater font? They were like one of the best.
Those were awesome. And so it's like you set the bar really friggin' high. And then, no, let's just do this.
Again, this is one where it just kind of feels like it's just an alternate. Like,
yeah.
This isn't a city edition release.
Yep. It feels just last minute rush put together. This feels like when like the kids wait for a project, you know, the night before it's due. And it's just like, hey, by the way, I need glue and poster board and markers.
Thanks.
Yeah, cool. Let's put out the Bull City edition.
But you guys know it's coming every year.
This is a thing.
Somebody
every
should
year
be designing next year's right now.
That's it. Seriously, you need to have like 2-3 people that you pay just for this. I know it generates a lot of money. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be an investment for you.
Again, I feel like we're spending a lot of time running down something that we both kind of admitted, we like.
It's not that bad. Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like it is what it could be.
They don't feel like city editions, except for a handful of them, which is kind of a bummer.
Yep. And then we got Cleveland.
Jesus, the land again. Yes, we know there's a word in your city. There's a root word. Stylized theater bill. Okay. Detailing the heaters. I don't hate it. I'm not excited for it either, though.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just kind of like, cool, another Cavs jersey.
I'll say this, like, at least they put a little effort here.
Yeah.
Stop trying to force the land, please.
Very bizarre, yeah.
Honestly, I think if you do Cleveland, or I think maybe you have to do Cleveland, or City by the Lake.
Yeah.
Something like that instead of the land here. And I think this might work. I think it's the land that's taking me out.
Yeah.
Maybe I should stop being so petty, but it looks dumb.
It does look dumb, dude. To do it, it's Brown's colors or something like that. I'm even willing to do that at this point. You know what I mean? Put Bernie Kosar's drunk face up there. Who gives a shit? I mean, we know there's a root word in your name. Cool.
We are the land that cleaves.
Yeah. And everything they do is like, it's all cheeks. So I don't know what you're doing, Dan Gilbert. I don't even know if he still owns the team. I'm sure he does, but get your act together.
Just another poor effort from the Cavs.
Serious.
Which I guess maybe I should just be expecting.
Just accept at this point.
The Detroit Pistons. I'm very anxious to hear what you got to say about this.
A nod to Chuck Daly. Okay. How? Color scheme, word mark, skull, bone iconography. Where is the skull and bone exactly?
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, not super knowledgeable of all things Detroit or Pistons. I know who Chuck Daly is. I just don't, again, spell out for me where he is on this. I don't hate it. But again, looking at it, I don't understand aesthetically what this has to do with Detroit. Have they ever done like anything like 8 Mile related?
I don't think so.
That would be cool. I mean, it also feels super 20 years ago, but I mean, then again, some of this other stuff does as well in its own way, because we're looking at a Detroit Pistons black jersey and everybody gets a black alternate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on, man. There's a gray. I'm not grossed out by it. I just don't get it.
This is another one where I actually love the jersey.
Yeah.
But like you, I'm struggling to find the Detroit in it. I think it's a really, really cool jersey. They actually wore these against the Suns like last week. I was like, oh wow, they look really cool.
So they look good on the court. Yeah. Okay.
But that said, I'm not making other than it says Detroit, I'm not making the connection here.
That it's the Pistons. Yeah.
Here's one that they would never do. I'd do an ICP one.
I mean, yeah, dude, it would be something.
They still rep Detroit to this day. I mean, it would be something, and you would know it was them. You would know it meant Detroit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it at this point, I think if you're the NBA and you're going to keep doing these every year, you're going to eventually have to start dipping into shit like that. Yeah. Otherwise, this just becomes redundant. And credit to the teams that can do it and kind of stay fresh, because there are a handful of them. It's just, if you're a franchise like the Detroit Pistons, I mean, what are you going to do? But you have a lot of stuff that you could pull from. Again, maybe do a Lions colored one. You have the Red Wings. You have, the fucking University of Michigan in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
I mean,
true.
Something, anything.
Lake Michigan.
Yeah, put a lake up there. Anything. Although then the T-Wolves might get pissed. And you have like a body of water rivalry going on there. But yeah, I mean, it's fine.
As a jersey, I like it a lot. As a city edition, I don't know how much I like it.
Right, exactly.
That takes us to the Indiana Pacers.
Love it. I don't even need to know anything else. There's just color here, so it gets me excited. Inspired by a dark night sky with the neon lights. You know what? I'm in. Indianapolis nickname Indy. We didn't need you to point that out to us. We're not that dumb. Pacers. You know what, man? Compared to a lot of what we've seen, I'm a huge fan of this. I would put this so far in like my top 5 of all of the ones we've seen.
Isn't that wild? The Indiana Pacers.
Who would have thought?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. It may be one of my favorite ones that we've seen.
It's great.
It's great. And it's getting away with a lot of things that we've kind of already thrown under the bus. But I think maybe it's because the Pacers, all of everything they've done for a long time has been bad.
Been just awful.
But that doesn't take away from the swing they took with including some of these colors that aren't usually there.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And again, a gradient spray paint thing that I would normally run all the way out of here. They've gone black alternate. Yes. I would normally run that out of the building. But I think it's just the combination of colors that is really just setting it apart. And the font that they've done Indian is really cool.
Yeah, dude.
The court looks really cool too. So
I can imagine, dude. This looks, I mean, I love the number font. I love the way they use the colors. You keep that yellow at the bottom. You make the yellow, the number yellow as well. I love these, dude.
You know what else it is? And I mean, like I keep eyeballing it, but they've got both colors here.
Yes.
And the stripes.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really just helping a whole great deal.
Yeah, very underrated touch. So I love them.
They might be my favorite so far. So we'll come back to that. And last but not least, speaking of lakes, it's Milwaukee.
Okay. Splatter print inspired by the masses of people. What in the fuck? There's a lot of people in Milwaukee.
I read that and I was like, seriously?
I don't. Sure. Inspired by the swooping roofline of the Fiserv Forum. Can we just maybe put Dahmer's apartment on here? Cool. Like, this is what gets me. A city like Milwaukee will take the fucking roofline of their own arena and be like, yeah, let's splatter it for people. But you have a city like Toronto that has so much to draw from, and they're just like, nah, I just put gold up there again. Like, Milwaukee is desperate for fucking anything. And this, oh man. I don't hate it in a vacuum, man. I don't really understand the blue. Because
the lake.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
claiming the lake.
water. That's right. A lot of people, water wars up in the North Midwest. I like the Bucks colors too.
Mhm.
Like you said about like green in the cream looks really good.
Yeah.
I like it. This in the regular team colors, I would actually like better than seeing it. You know what I mean? You could do the darker, the forest green is the base color. The swoop could be cream with the numbers, and then you could have the lighter green as the piping there. I don't hate the design. It actually makes me feel a lot like the Atlanta Hawks back in like the Neek and the Spud Webb days. It's kind of cool, but
I want desperately for Milwaukee to stop doing, hey, we're the lake team, because they tried this a couple years ago, and it's like the one a couple years ago is like, all right, fine, I'll give it to you. And I think it coming up this time, looking at it, and the splatter print inspired by the masses of people really just made me go, nah.
Yeah,
that does not know.
Don't. That's a reach. That's a reach.
All these splatters are people. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
These are the folks that live here and or that Dahmer ate.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what I mean, it seems silly that you have the Milwaukee Brewers there. Milwaukee, very known for beer.
Yes.
Do that. Why not?
Yeah. That's a city thing.
Maybe.
Oh, God, dude.
Or cheese.
Even I was just going to say, just make it cheese textured. For fuck's sake. Just get it over with. It would be horrible, but at least we'd get it and go, you know what? City.
Yeah.
Instead of folks everywhere.
Splattered.
Man. And a roof line as well. Jesus.
I don't, again, in a vacuum, I don't think it's awful.
No.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's probably still, unfortunately, like in the upper half of what we've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just feel like they could do better. All right. So how do you rank these 5?
Oh, Indy won.
Oh, yeah.
Indy's my favorite, all together out of the East so far. Or because now we've covered all the East. I put Indy 1 all of the Eastern Conference, but here in the Central, give me Indy 1. Good God.
This is a battle for 5.
Dude, you're seriously, man. I would go, you know what? Give me Detroit 2, Milwaukee 3, Chicago 4, and then that Cleveland shit 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree. That's exactly how I'd put it.
Because I feel